What? Oh my God, you're here too? Amazing. Welcome to Waffles Maple Syrup. Make sure that you like this piece of content, subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't already, follow at Waffles Maple on Twitter. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to this episode of Outcast and Outclassed. I do need a button to push for sound effects because I realize I just kind of make my own sound effects every time. It would be better if it just existed.
No, if we all make sound effects, then it's perfect.
That's true.
It's like you have a cast that we can help.
Y'all need to pick it up then. I need more sound effects on the next round. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
I need direction.
I hope you're ready to be surprised.
Okay, well, let's take it from the top real quick.
Okay, sure.
Cut.
Ready? Cut from the top.
Okay.
From the top. Welcome. You doing that?
Yeah, I'm drum rolling. I'm sorry.
I
forget you echo off me.
Welcome
Amazing.
to this episode of Outcast and Outclassed. You know, I'll take it.
This is exactly what I was hoping for.
We are just a cacophony of chaos, and we're gonna stay there.
Next time we'll have chat
Neurodivergent
get in on it
brains.
a little bit, please, if that would be great.
Oh my
God! Thank you.
Oh no!
But I think I do need chat to get in on it a little bit more next time. We'll keep that for next time, but just keep that in mind, chat. You just gotta spam a little bit woos and all that stuff.
Gotta get some.
Iris and Jordan. I'll get hero points. Anyways.
Can they have some of yours? Because you still have like 40,000.
No, I like mine. I have like a little tub of chicken nuggets.
So selfish.
Oh my goodness, I want a tub of chicken nuggets.
That does sound awesome.
It does sound really nice. We're getting so distracted. We're gonna go right into it, y'all. We have some announcements. We actually have some amazing announcements, and they are hype. So I was completely lying before when I said no more laughter or giggles or happy, because I say not actually having them up. Because. So remember how last time we said that we were like an officially award-winning show? You remember that?
I remember.
Don't stop though, because this very week of our O&O week, live week, I'm gonna say week one more time. We got nominated for 3 more awards. I was mistaken. I thought they were 2. No, there are 3 whole awards.
Stop out Waffles.
As part of the New Jersey Web Festival, which is just freaking wild. So first of all, I will honor the one that I had missed the first time, which is our very own Waffles. Our very own GM Waffles is nominated for Best Costume / Makeup in an actual play video category.
I have been nominated for wearing Syrup's makeup.
Let's go. Listen, you
I love
well.
it though because it
do.
honors my makeup skills, and I'm very glad, and I want you to win it.
I just dyed my hair for it.
That's true. You do.
And where's the
commit to
Team
it, though.
effort.
And where's the scarf? That's true.
Yeah.
Syrup scarf.
Additionally, well deserved for Best Ensemble Cast of an Actual Play Video Production. Yes! We are with some amazing people in the nominations. I'm so incredibly honored. Itaewon by Night. I'm not Ways and Wanderings. Like, I'm not gonna read every single one because I won't be able to end. But like, oh my gosh, I'm so honored to be amongst these people, and you all deserve this. And then lastly, we are in the category of Outstanding Actual Play Video Production.
Let's go.
So freaking exciting. I'm so excited. So we're adding that to the pile of things that we're so honored for, and stay tuned for the New Jersey Web Festival itself to see what happens on that front. And to keep that ball rolling with the announcements, Big Bad Con is coming up. A few of us will be at Big Bad Con. That's held in San Francisco. If you're not aware, tickets are on sale. Go check it out. If we see you there, that would be lovely. We would be very happy to see you there. Come say hi to us. We also have a bunch of panels. So Waffles, is running a panel and is on some panels. I am running a panel and am on some panels. I'm very excited, actually. Duval, are you running a panel or are you on a bunch of panels?
I'm just on a bunch of panels.
On a bunch of panels, and then Maria is running a bunch of panels and on a bunch of panels.
Listen.
It happens.
It happens.
There will be no shortage of ways to see us. But I do believe that a little bit later this week, signups, or not this week, next week, some point
next
soon.
Week.
Next
Very
week.
soon.
Signups open up for those panels, and the spaces are limited. So if you would like to come see us on any of those panels, you should do that. Go to the website. I think it's bigpadcon.com.
I believe you are.
And you should look for us and come say hi. And I'm very excited for it. Also look at our social medias if you want to know specifics about which panels we are on, because there's just too many to list right now.
Can I
And
throw
we're
a
really
challenge-
nice in
Can I
person.
throw a challenge out there that I just thought of?
Ooh.
Yeah, always.
Okay. If you find me at Big Bad Con and you have a D20, we'll roll off. And if you beat me, you get to have mine.
Have your way.
My D20.
I love that.
The D20.
Oh,
I love that.
I like
That's so
awesome.
cool.
But which
I
D20 will
love
it be? Who knows?
Nobody knows.
I'm gonna.
Not even you.
I like
In fact,
this.
I'm rolling with this D100. So
Oh, nice, nice.
We've all on D20s rolls a D100.
Yeah.
You get a D4, I get a
Calculus.
D100, and we'll see who wins.
and
Let's
there's
see
a
who
chance.
wins.
There's a chance you win, and you still get a free die.
Yeah.
That's true. I love this. All right. With that, let's, if Maria's up for it, jump through to our sponsors.
Oh my gosh. We got 2 sponsors. Now, if you were here in the before this time, you may have heard of Crafty Gamer. Crafty Gamer, as you know, we are also affiliates of, so they loved us so much, they said, have us twice. So we did. And we're extremely grateful. So, Crafty Gamer, if you do not know, has a ton of cool, nerdy, geeky, tabletop-ish adjacent things, such as candles, such as soap. There's apparel. They have stickers. They've got coffee tumblers. They've got a ton of stuff. They've also got a Kickstarter that is going on soon. Star knows better than I do. There's a Kickstarter that they're going to be doing where they're going to be having more candles that have full sets of dice in them. So you should go check that out as well. Go onto their website, thecraftygamer.com, and then also make sure you use Waffles Maple at checkout because you get a sweet little discount. And also, then they know that you love us and we love them and all that stuff. It's right. It's just great. It's all great. It's all good.
Feedback all around.
Positive. Yeah. Speaking of positive feedback and good vibes, Eldritch Osiris Games. Eldritch Osiris Games is the first TTRPG co-op in history, as far as I've heard, and the internet doesn't lie to me, neither does my GM, ever. They focus on equality both in their company as well as diversity in the writers and creators that they bring in to the fold. They do a lot of Pathfinder2e content with the creators that they bring on. And there was another thing that I know is going to be really cool. Aha, this part here, I'm going to read verbatim. Being the first TTRPG co-op, they're here to set an example that a workers' equality is not only possible, but instead should become the industry standard. So check out all of their stuff. Check out all their stuff at eldritchosirisgames.com. Tell them Waffles Maple Syrup sent you, and keep eyes out for some cool stuff coming in the near future.
Yeah. Specifically, stick around to the end of this episode where maybe something about that with
you should stick around. You should really stick around to the end or catch the VOD later.
Why?
There's going to be an announcement later.
Yeah, there'll be stuff. With that.
Don't even worry
right
about
now,
it.
Skip to approximately 3:15 in the video and then back.
No, that's no way
I'm just kidding, I'm just
possibly
kidding.
true.
4:05.
Anyways,
Watch it be true.
with that'd be amazing. But we can delay this no longer because poor Star.
Emotional damage.
Some emotional damage.
It's gonna
If
be.
we want to talk for a few more minutes, that'd be fine.
Listen, we can talk
You know,
can
in
always
game.
talk.
I
You
would,
and I,
but
you and
do
I
you
can
hear
talk
that?
a lot.
Do you hear that? I think the bell's about to ring. I guess we gotta catch you and see you in class.
We're asleep.
Welcome back. So, last we left off, I don't know. I have no fucking clue what happened. It's all a blur of
Snakes!
like something.
We're not
something
rivals!
Snakes.
Right.
Something
Snakes.
rivals. Not rivals. Rivals.
End of recap.
End of recap. That's what I picked up. You fought some snakes.
We were just being Samuel L. Jackson.
Snakes, not on a plane.
Well, on the material.
Well, on this
plane.
plane, yeah, plane of existence.
I hate it here.
Yep. Oh, now you hate it.
Now I hate it here.
Oh, now.
So you fought some snakes, and you went to the final room of this abandoned storage facility to find some experiment table in the midst of some odd things that you were not quite able to identify. Luckily for you, after you followed up with the Anadis, they're going to look into that for you, and maybe get you some information about what experiments were being taken in place there. And then y'all were basically done. Took some well-deserved rest. Could have ended the session right there. But no. Because we're better than that. We gotta add some spice. We gotta add some drama. No, some amazing roleplay happened between everybody actually. And one of my favorite scenes that inspired art, which you would just have to go be in the Breakfast Club to see a little bit of that, because I'm not done with it yet. But one day I'll be finished with it and I'll share it with everybody. But an amazing conversation about our rivals anyways between Hideaki and Arc 2, with also a promise for a conversation in the morning, as Arafe realized there was something they have yet to tell. And I think as the sun rises in the east on the lovely city of Natambu, the circle of the Magaambya campus, as it peeks through the light of your room. Would you like this lead up?
Just keep
Romantic.
soaking it.
Keep going.
And, well, you awake. and I do think that I have nothing left to do but hand over the reins. What's happening this morning? I'm pretty sure there was mention of breakfast.
Yeah, Art gets really mad because everybody goes to breakfast without him.
We're all sitting there waiting for you to show up this time.
we brought Benji.
But Benji has like blue like lines. Like you're the R2 placeholder.
Oh,
This
no.
still counts.
Has to put a red
Oh, no,
tablecloth
no.
around themselves.
No!
Yeah, so we all have breakfast together, I assume. Probably plan out the day. Probably in the middle of it, I think Ark will kind of look between everyone and say, well, is there anything we need to take care of before seeing Janatimo?
Nothing on my plate.
Airface's heart is just like pounding because
Tao? Airfix?
I think there's something that Erfai and I needed to check on real quick but we could meet you there.
Alone?
Well, to be more specific, I think we wanted to have a private conversation before we went back to Janatimo. And I just kind of like side eyes Arafe and like raises an eyebrow, like, is that questioning, like, this is what you wanted, right?
Hideaki like noticing the pregnant pause. And besides R2, we could totally do like a quick like hike, like back and forth, and just like do a little, of that extra like morning workout, like a post breakfast like thing.
I don't work out after food.
Ever?
We can walk.
This sounds like something that we should talk about. Come on.
Okay.
Airface just kind of watches them go, and she goes, he knows he could have just told Ark they just needed to go, and Ark would have been like, cool, right? Like, he knows that.
Maybe Hideaki, it seems like he likes to complicate things a little bit, maybe.
Her mind goes back to the conversation with Ark last night. It goes, yeah, yeah.
So, what did you want to talk about? It seems
You all still sitting in the cafeteria right now.
It seemed like it was bothering you. Whatever it
How
is.
full is the cafeteria right now?
I mean, it's morning, so I think there's a steady flow of students in and out.
Why don't we go outside and chat? I think it's a bit personal. I think it'd be better if we were away from people. She's anticipating Tal to be angry with her, so.
Okay. I think Tal like looks around at like the mostly eaten food and like hops up, and you watch them go to the like. I always assumed it was a buffet, but now I don't. That doesn't really make sense. There's like a pastries. I know that there's like pastries and fruits and like stuff like that, and just grabs like a couple of mangoes and then a couple of like the least sticky pastries that they can find.
Sure.
And
There's like
wraps.
flatbreads and all sorts of things, sweets as well.
Yeah, I kind of imagine
kind
it's
of a
like my
sweet.
college cafeteria where there's like some buffet and there was like some place where you could get eggs made and there was like a waffle area and like
Definitely Belgian waffle maker.
Exactly like that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just grab a couple of like handheld things in case either of us gets hungry. Put them in my little bag, all wrapped up, and then come back. Where do you want to go?
I guess just outside, just walk maybe.
Sure. can
You end up
just
walking
walk.
the same path as
I mean,
Hideaki
I was
and
gonna
Ark.
say literally as they walk outside, Ark turns to Hideaki. He's like, "Do you think they're done?"
Just take, like,
You've been
a quick
gone for
lap.
like a minute.
So, is this your way of wanting to eavesdrop, or are you just genuinely trying to follow up?
If I was following them, I would be eavesdropping.
I mean, sure, by definition, yeah, I guess. Did you want to?
No, they said
Okay.
they wanted to talk alone. I just
Cool.
was wondering why we left and then they left. We could have stayed there.
Yeah. You want us to go back?
No, I'm done eating.
Cool. This is great. This is great.
Go do some rival stuff.
If you think
Yeah,
we're
go
not
bond
going
or
back
whatever.
to that
Of course.
conversation, you're
Absolutely.
wrong.
Yeah.
Oh no,
But,
I'm
yeah.
very clear. Yes.
now that that's came up, quick advertisement. $5 at the Ko-fi will get you a preview of shirtless Ark and Hideaki facing off.
Oh my
together.
god.
Correct.
Yep,
In our
yep,
Discord,
yep.
Correct.
so-
Yep.
Listen.
Yep. Listen.
Drawn by your
Linda.
very own GM.
Oh
Mhm.
no.
Rivals.
But tell Arafe, please. I push you at the door. We talk.
So we go left. The others went
Go
right.
left. Got it.
I kind of imagine that Arafe is just walking and Tal's maybe just kind of following.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like
like
not
a
like-
half a step, like not quite the set. Like I'm just like a tiny bit behind because I have no idea where you're leading me.
Yeah, there's that moment where you know one person's leading, but they're walking side by side. And I think unconsciously she's heading towards Kirschkin.
Okay.
Cool.
Because
Well, at
I
least
cannot
with
remember
where
where
Kirschkin
they're
was
at or
buried.
where we're coming from, but I imagine we're going in that general direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's a circular campus. It is not difficult to almost accidentally wind up heading in that direction, which was a little ways to some side storage buildings beside the ceremony stage.
So she's quiet for quite a bit of time, mostly because she's been dreading having this conversation. Because in her mind, she is for sure that Tal is about to just rip into her, knowing that she deserves it, but she doesn't want it to happen nonetheless. So after a while, she's kind of... Tal, I might have done something not great.
Okay.
When we were off doing our own things, I was trying out some new magic, and I met a psychopomp. Do you know what one of those are?
Make me a religion check, Tal.
Okay. I'll roll the big die because that can make it. That means it's big numbers, right?
Right, unless you're
Right.
my dice.
Okay. Well, that's an 11.
Well, I lost him. Hold on. There you are. Yeah. Not really, no.
No, I don't really. That doesn't sound familiar.
So they are essentially the will of Pharasma. They're kind of a usher of souls, as far as I understand. And if I'm wrong, Syrup, please let me know.
There are a variety of psychopomps, and you are correct. Just want to make sure that what you saw was one of a kind of psychopomp.
Yeah, she explained to me that she was the Will of Pharasma, but and she was asking me, or they were asking me about people who had died near me.
Okay.
And I had mentioned you. They're very interested in what stopped you from dying. Airface kind of like shrinking away too as she's saying this.
Well, to be honest, we have that in common.
What do you mean?
Well, I am also very curious as to the action. I don't know. I met this patron again while we were apart. And it was very similar to the last time. But they taught me things this time. And it wasn't any less scary, I don't think. But I don't know anything about them. I mean, they kind of have a name. Kind of, I think. Do you know what this psychopomp wanted?
From what I could gather, she's extremely interested in why you didn't die. And when we were talking, I told her I wouldn't give her anything about you, and I don't know much about your patron. But I think she's looking for your patron now.
Nim pops up from your shoulder, Tal. And Airfa, you see this clearly.
But I can't hear it.
You can't hear it, but you see Nim like pop up onto you, Tal's shoulder, like ears up, looking at Airfa, and then to you, Tal goes, What did they look like?
What
Kind of psychopath?
What did they look like? And just kind of like exchanging glances from Nim on their shoulder to Arafe as they ask.
I'm trying to remember. Has Tal told us that they can talk to Nim?
What a great question. I'm sure someone can remind us, but I don't think so.
Don't think you have. So
There was the picnic scene, if I recall, where Nim was talking to you, and you did get a little bit like Nim is, but I don't know if it was ever like. Expressed.
Yeah, I don't think it. I don't think it was. Yeah, there was definitely like I know there's been a lot of like incidental focus towards Nim during conversations, but I don't think it's ever been addressed. Yeah,
like Hideaki's assumed. But like, I don't know if we were talking about
Yeah, I was just about to ask if Arafa's noticing, like putting 2 and 2 together that you talk to Nim at this point, since I'm kind of focused on you.
I think it's very clear personally, if anybody has oppositions. But to me, Nim popped up, like looks at you, looks at Tal. Tal's looking at it, and it is like almost when people ask questions from themselves versus when they're like translating it. There's a different tone.
Yeah, and I mean, Arafe has talked at Nim before. So I guess it's Arafe will kind of more address Nim at this, since it's clear that they were the one asking, but they were tall and covered in, you know, it's like spiderweb like dress. Carried a staff and wore a mask. Quite intimidating, actually. But they're very interested in your patron. And I'm worried I've led them to it.
Why?
Why are you worried? You just told them that I didn't die.
They asked what stopped you from dying.
Mm-hmm.
And I told them.
Right. Tal will turn to Nim and address Nim with their voice and not telepathically and say, what are the odds that this thing would be able to find them?
I don't know. But they need to know. I'll be back. And then jumps off your shoulder. And then where you have wandered at this point, I'm assuming in the midst of the conversation, eventually you sort of stopped and turned around to talk. And it's only when Nim jumps off of Tal and heads off the path into the closest sort of like wooded area, you recognize Arafe where that is, and it is in fact the same exact woods which the person had originally emerged. And you both watch as Nim bounds into the forest and like disappears before they would perspective-wise.
Well, at least they'll know. Can I make a perception to see if I can pick up on the player, know that Arafe is so terrified of retribution in this moment. Can I make a roll to see if that is something that Tal also picks up on?
Always. We like rolls. I will actually just check in though, like Star, do you want this to be so very obvious?
I don't think it would be hard.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. Why are you so scared to tell me?
I broke a promise again.
You did?
I could have put you in danger. I didn't realize until I said something that they might have been after you. And for all I know, they're going to now go after your patron, and if they're strong enough, maybe they can take your patron out, and then you lose your magic, and it'll be all my fault.
Tal's gonna take a step forward and just grab your hands into her hands as you're spiraling. And is going to look up at Arafe and like with a little bit of concern in their face and say, you didn't break any promises. if you live your entire existence on maybes and coulds, you're never... that feels exhausting.
Promises are important to you.
Yes. Yes, they are.
And I don't know if your patron is the only thing keeping you here. You talk about this thread that you chose and being tied to Hideaki, and if your patron goes, does the magic go? And then do you go? And do I let you die again?
Oh. I think they had been holding your hands pretty tightly, and it just loosens just a little bit. Still holding onto your hands though. Erfe, do you blame yourself for me dying?
I have one job. And Ark did it that day.
And? You can do it tomorrow. You can do it next week. It doesn't have to be just your job. It's not up to you to save the entire world.
And if Ark hadn't been there wouldn't be another time.
I have an additional question to the two of you. I know there's been heart-to-hearts before about Erfe, and I think it was to Hideaki talking about their experience in their village. Has that been common knowledge, and or would Tal be aware of this?
No, I think we had that conversation yesterday. I'm pretty sure that was Tal and Ark were having a moment, and Hideaki and I had a moment that we didn't realize we were going to have. Oh yeah, that was during the therapy reception at the teacher's house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was yesterday or 2 days ago, something like that.
And then Tal, when you focus on just the thought of like, if the patron goes, do you go again? Just the thought of the potential of the maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Nim is not with you currently, and you do not feel a connection to your magic.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Oh.
And you remember, as a witch, your familiar is your source of spells.
You know, I, the player, keep forgetting about that. Me, I forget.
Just adding some drama. Please continue.
Yeah. Thanks, God.
Thanks for that.
God.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Thanks. What to do with this?
Erfe is also, just for your knowledge, refusing to make eye contact this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just to add some spice on the other side, just because, you're not looking at Tal.
Nope.
Which means that your eyes fall everywhere but.
Yep.
And it's when you sort of like follow after where Nim had like disappeared to, and you look a little bit further to the right where you see, still a little bit away, but the space where you buried Kershkin. And you remember digging that night, and as you kind of settle your gaze there and you feel Tal's hands just loosen a little bit to what you said, you also feel your shadows stir a little. and you do not have a telepathic connection with your shadow. So no, not wanting to kind of speak in the current moment, you do kind of feel her tug away from that location. Like, back the path, like the other way. I'm trying to like just pull your attention away from there.
If Tal is paying attention, she does make that quick kind of glance back, like something tugs, but comes back in.
I think maybe this happens simultaneously then, because I think in that moment when you're going to like kind of glance backwards, I think Tal is having this like slight feeling of absence, not emptiness, but like something that was there that you didn't realize was there is now not really there. And kind of like looks slightly towards the woods as I think you're looking back. So maybe we both miss it. Tal kind of separates your hands and takes one in each of theirs and says, we can't live and there are too many things, too many what ifs in life in order and Tal's getting a little bit like this has thrown them this like weird feeling. They're trying to like be a comfort to you. They're trying. You can see they're trying to find the right words to convince you and also maybe themselves. And they just keep stumbling over them, trying to get a point across. And you can see that they're a little bit distracted now, and they're getting a little bit. You can sense a slight frustration mounting the longer they try to describe whatever they're trying to say.
Which on her end, she's registering as a frustration with her.
Yeah. I think there's too many factors in life to try to play it as safe as possible. You can't save everyone, and you can't do everything right all the time. I don't think even Arafe wasn't making eye contact, but I don't think Tal is making eye contact now.
You can't, but you can try.
Sure, you can try. And then when it doesn't go right, you can blame yourself for weeks and months and not tell anyone. I think Tal, like, very slowly has started, like, letting go of your hands, kind of trying to make it feel as natural as possible.
Mm-hmm. I just thought that you should know. I am really sorry. I shouldn't have said anything.
To who? The psychopomp or to me?
The psychopomp.
And there is a little bit of annoyance with that.
Oh. The psychopomp.
What she isn't telling you is that Psychopomp was extremely powerful and was threatening her. This voice comes from the shadow next to Arafe.
Ha ha! Oh.
Shouldn't have mattered.
This is what I have to fucking deal with. You see this?
You are
Tal-
not helpful.
Tal's
I'm quite helpful.
Tal's eyes like narrow a little bit at the "it shouldn't have mattered." I would rather you chance putting someone else like me in danger, potentially in the future, something we could potentially take care of in the future, than put yourself at risk at any time. I'm glad you told the psychopomp all of this, especially if they were threatening you. Your life is just as important as mine.
You see her kind of give a slight huff laugh at that. Not really.
Why
Well,
do you
I'd
not-
die 1,000 times before I'd let one of you go again. If I have anything to do with it, I will go first.
You didn't. So that is off the table.
But I may have set up a situation where you will. A little bit of pain is nothing compared to maybe losing the thread that keeps you here. I should have been smarter than that. And I wasn't. The mere presence of this thing should have shown me that... Lie? Say you don't... I tried to tell her I didn't know.
And you think that they would believe it? If they're that powerful?
Probably not. But they're not powerful enough to know it without me, so... Why should I have given it?
I would certainly hope it was for a slight bit of self-preservation. A little bit? Do you really value yourself so little? Do you really value how we feel about you so little?
Not at all.
You sure have a terrible way of showing it. If you're so willing to step into the crossfire, so willing to lay yourself out on the line for all of us, that's showing that you do not respect how much we care about you and how much we would do anything to keep you from dying. You understand that, right?
I do. But Tal, what do my powers do?
Whatever you want them to do. We've had this conversation before. You are not what people tell you you have to be.
No, and I know that. I'm working on that. But my power uses my own life force to defend other people. I know how this road ends. I'm okay with that.
Airfa, as you're having this conversation and Tal gets more heated and more pointed in their accusations, you find yourself getting a headache. A stronger headache. And it's tinged in like this echo of a memory just out of your grasp. Very similar to that initial moment of a headache before you passed out in the circus.
What you also have to realize, Tal, is you three are what I have. That's it.
You have me.
You as well. 4. I have you 4. I will protect you 4 with everything I have. I thought I would, and then this happened. So I've shown myself again, I need to be better. But I needed you to know what happened, because I expected you to be angry with me, so I'm a little surprised on that front, to be completely honest. But I need to do better.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I am angry at you, but not because of that.
A little bit. Because I'm angry at me too. I'm not throwing anything away of mine. I don't think it's worth less. But I think you all, I will give everything to protect you. 4. Because I want to, not because I have to.
And what happens when it runs out? And you have nothing left to give?
Like I said, I know where this road ends.
If your cup empties because you're putting yourself into everything, and at that moment of emptiness is when we need you the most, then what? You cannot be everything all the time to everyone, to us.
In her mind, she does not say this out loud, but when she said, when there's nothing else left, what is there? She went, there's Ark.
Oh, wow.
But she does not say that out loud. That is just for the audience. Spicy. We'll hope that day never comes.
In
A
a
lot of what ifs.
far more
There is.
serious tone. Not quite so sassy. Almost to herself, but out loud. You hear, I will not let that happen.
Hopefully we never have to figure that out. I don't ever intend to purposefully put myself in that situation, or any of you. This is not the direction I thought this conversation was going to go.
Like I said, you can't plan for everything.
Ark thinks we can. She tries to, I'll say, to levy it up a little bit.
Well, Ark thinks they know everything as well.
To be
I
fair, they
will-
know more than we usually do.
They know different things than we do. That doesn't mean they know everything.
Very true.
With this mention of Ark, let us also flip the camera and check in, because this conversation did end up taking perhaps longer than initially intended from Airfey and Tal, or at least perhaps more than communicated. So I would love to know what Ark and Hideaki are doing, as they're like, well, they're not back yet.
So do androids scar?
Sure.
Yeah. Do you think he'll have scars from yesterday?
No, I don't.
Really? Why?
Well, we received magical healing, and I usually don't scar after magical healing.
That makes sense. Interesting.
What about you? Will you have scars?
I don't think so. I was actually getting a little bit worried because I've got a lot of bandages on. But I guess it probably wouldn't matter because you really couldn't see them because I have a bunch of fur. So.
Have you continued to walk at this point?
Yeah, I would.
Or are you sitting on like a bench or on the grass?
Ark would follow Hideaki's lead, and if Hideaki didn't have a lead, then Ark would still be walking.
Yeah,
they could be in the next country for all he knows.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it doesn't matter to him either.
Yep. So they're probably still walking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, last night,
Yes.
you said that we're not rivals.
True.
Okay. Why?
Because Arfe said we're not.
Really? This is a great episode for a start, you guys. Just everything's exploding. Really? Did she say why?
There were a bunch of different reasons, but all of them put together and divided out would mean that we're not.
So did they convince you that we're not? Or you just thought that and then you were just looking for like a clarification or a validation from somebody else?
I asked Arfe, do you think Hideaki and I are rivals? They gave me a lot of reasons that we could be, and more that we're not.
So it's a numbers game? Like it's like, because 9 is more than 7, no.
Yes.
Well, I feel better that I figured it out, I guess. Cool. I suppose that makes sense, I guess, logically.
If we were ever on equal
then-
skill levels, I would consider us rivals.
I see. So, well, to be fair, we specialize in very different situations. So are you really comparing us one to one based off of our, like, the skill levels of things that you're good at versus the skill levels and the things that I'm good at? Or is it like based off of your particular experience and then comparing your experience with what you expect my experience to be?
It is overall as a persona. I mean, I could never rival you in commanding a dragon that has my soul, because I don't have one.
That's very specific. That's very specific. And certainly I could not rival your ability to wear an amazing scarf the way that you do, glow the way that you do, as well as that, like, spell strike is just unreal. I'm a big, like, I would not want to be on the other side of that. Having said that, though, I will give you lots of credit for the fact that these morning, like, workouts have been really, really helpful for me.
Yes. Doing more than
Yeah,
prior is usually helpful.
Yeah. It's a net positive, I think, is the word I've heard.
Right.
Certainly.
Unlike our rivalship, which is a net negative.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Do you think if you studied how to spell strike and I studied how to have a soul dragon, you would learn to spell strike first?
I would love to find out. Okay, that's probably not
The
realistic. Let's be
GM
honest.
prize.
Let's be honest. It's not. Stick with me, folks. I'm going somewhere. Okay. Everyone's going at me.
get going. I'm just here.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I'm getting lightheaded because I'm laughing so hard internally. No, actually, in all seriousness, I think maybe I might owe you an apology.
Why is that?
Well, remember how when I brought up the rivalship stuff and how we talked about it before, you were just like, no. And I thought about the fact that actually it was less about rivalship stuff and it was more about friendship. And
I believe that is a net negative as well.
Oh, okay. Woo. Well, I was going to say I don't know how I feel about that now. So I think the apology was supposed to be how I was sort of citing that for you, because back then I was just like, well, we're friends because I think that we're friends, and so that's enough for me for now, and then I'll eventually like win you over, and that hasn't really happened. And then I guess I'm kind of doing the same thing with this.
Sure, you wanted to create a rivalship because you could not achieve the friendship yet.
Maybe. But I mean, I'd like to have both. But that's just I'm being very that's very presumptuous and selfish of me. I will take any Arc 2 time that I can get.
You have Arc 2 time.
It's right now, as a matter of fact, on this beautiful day.
Then why must we be friends?
Because it's like the next step. And sometimes it could be friendship and rivalry stuff, maybe.
But why? What does it do?
Well, I think it's about connection. And
if I say you're a friend, we have more connection.
If you mean it, if it means something to you,
then we have more connection than we currently have.
Sure.
So friendship is a magical word.
Kind of. It's like
it establishes connection.
By committing to each other at that level, yes, I think so.
Okay, then we're friends.
Cool.
I don't feel any
okay.
though.
It's an experiment. Like we're on the ride. We're just getting there, right? We're at the beginning, and we can. It's like driving a cart. Like we just got the cart, and sometimes like the cart's a little bumpy and like it's a little weird, but like we'll figure it out.
Sure.
Inside his head, Overdose, he says, "Holy shit!"
Do you think they're done talking yet?
I don't know, but I suppose we should go check in on them. I suppose.
Sure.
I think based on how you've been walking and the longevity of Airfe and Tal's conversation, if you're just kind of like walking through the Magaambya campus, not that you're necessarily going like a full circle, but like you've probably like caught wind of like them across the ways a bit, even though you've not approached them. So you can definitely like kind of turn around and start heading in their direction to meet up.
Okay. As we're walking back. Sometimes, and this is just again like it's super early, but I just want to like set like an option here, because sometimes really good friends have secret handshakes. Just something to think about. Don't like we don't have to worry about. We don't have to commit to it right now. It's just something to consider as we move forward.
Okay, I have one.
You have one with someone else, or you just created one just right now?
Just right.
And would like to give it to me?
No, it's a secret.
Shh. Oh, I I am so proud of you. Yes, yes, that's great. That's great. Okay. You're muted, Star.
Best thing.
I am
This.
living so much right now. This is very
I
good.
did not know how much I needed this. You all hear this before, like, you have them join. You just hear Hideaki going, yes, you know, really loudly. And you can all like both look over and see that they're headed in your direction. I want to give the two of you a moment to, if you want to do something right before they arrived, or like just to wrap up where you were, if you would like it, or you can just have it be now when they come up. Oh, you're muted, Star.
I am muted. I turned it off so I didn't interrupt.
Busy screaming.
Hearing now, it makes it a lot funny that you answered my question that I asked, but you couldn't hear me. Because I'm like, can we hear them coming? Hearing them coming, I mean, Tal will see that telltale of Arafe shutting it down and putting on the pleasant persona again.
Tal will point at you. Don't lie to us.
Okay.
Squinting, and will like point and like circle your face. This changed. You don't have to pretend around us.
Okay. This whole time also, she has just been trying to gauge if Tal has clocked Kershkin's grave and the fact that it has recently been dug through.
Right.
Tal was not there when Kershkin was buried. Tal does not know.
Hideaki was.
Hideaki was. So
Yeah.
okay.
So
Okay.
he's like, oh,
You don't even
Oh,
know
I
what
know
that
what
is. You don't even know what that is then.
I have no
Just
idea
a
what
pile
that
of dirt.
It's the pile of dirt.
Fact, this is a great moment. As the two of you kind of join up with Arafe and Tal. And there's that quick moment of like checking in, like from a little bit of a distance, like we're good, and you join up and everything. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's a look of happy bewilderment on his face. He's just like, whoa, what the fuck just happened?
And I would like two different kinds of roles here. So first of all, Hideaki and Ark. Ark, you do this at a -2. Make me a perception check.
Beautiful. Tw- 22 with my -2.
Wow.
Oh wow.
15. The dice
Okay.
have
What a
spoken.
reversal.
Yeah.
This is interesting, Ark. You may not have the words to express this, but the atmosphere that you've walked in on for Tal and Arafe right now seems different, seems charged. I don't want to give you with the 22, like the vibes are off, but I also don't want to tell you that you are recognizing a particular emotion or anything like that. Like I want to leave that up to you.
For sure.
For you, Hideaki, like I think you're just a little caught up in your own just joy.
Called me his friend.
You had a miracle moment. You had listen.
Literally. Like it's
You
like I
won the
rolled 3
race.
nat 20s in a row. Like he is over the moon.
You won the race.
You did it.
I did it.
You did.
Ark, if you want to akin it to like reading moves in combat, like you can just, you're looking at their stances with each other which haven't yet moved, and you see the body language, posture, and like it's just charged and not necessarily the friendliest, maybe. And I want to, do you want to leave it at this, or do you want an opportunity to react to it before I go on to the next rolls?
I want to react. It just might be long, so I don't. You tell me if you want the next rolls first or.
Do it.
Okay. As they walk up, and Art kind of notices this, he looks at both of them and goes, "Did you fight?"
Arafe is going to look slightly at Tal and go, slightly.
Why?
Because Arafe doesn't value themselves.
So you fought her because she doesn't value herself.
Well, we fought with words. Not. Tal feels a little bit, a very slight bit of shame for just kind of throwing you like in and underneath every bus possible.
Is it the same one I'm driving?
Yeah. But only a little bit.
We fought in a way that friends fight when they want them to take care of themselves better.
Friends fight. I was going to say you should have become friends like me and Hideaki.
I'm
Tal's
sorry.
eyes shoot straight at Hideaki. What?
Yeah.
He said establishing friendship is a magical connection. And so I had to say we're friends so we could be more connected.
And he's just like, yep.
Mute.
Oh. And in Tal's head, they're just thinking, "Is that fucking easy? That's all it took."
But it's a trial run. If it doesn't feel any different, then I guess we don't need to be.
That was what Arafe was waiting for, was the logic turnaround.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's how all friendships work.
Then
Right.
Actually,
that's what he
Yeah.
said, but then why are there friendships?
Because people choose to be friends.
But it
And connect
doesn't.
with others.
But it doesn't do anything.
well,
If I choose to be Arc 3, then I can just choose that. I just give myself a title like we say, "Ooh, we're friends."
But that's not magical.
well, there's a little bit more to claiming friendship.
Why?
There's a level of dedication towards another person that comes with friendship.
Right.
That dedication
A-
increases when you say you're friends.
I think
It
you
doesn't
choose
even
to
have to be
increase it.
said. It's just a thing that happens. I think that's why you get a lot from us, that we say we're your friend, that you are our friend, even if you say we're not yours.
Do you have
Friendships
to be?
should. Do
No.
we have to be friends?
Yes.
No, and that's the beauty of it. It's something you choose.
Mhm.
Not necessarily out loud, not always, but it is something that you decide.
He's very confused.
As I've learned, sometimes it's about actions too, as I've learned.
Well,
Then why am I
are,
at-
like
Oh, good.
there's this there are kind of unspoken obligations that come with friendship, and some like you choose to spend more time with them than you would a stranger, or someone you don't see very often. It is a prioritizing of a person above other people.
So I must be different from myself to be friends with someone.
I don't think so.
Well, if according to what I said, I guess if my definition of friendship is opposite of who you are, then maybe we just need to find what your definition of friendship is.
And also people connect it in different ways.
Ark walks up to Tal and puts like a thumb up to hers. And then does like this twist of the hand and high fives.
Hideaki's
Handshake.
jaw just hits the ground.
And he goes, we have to keep that a secret from Hideaki though.
And he literally just goes, yep. He just closes his eyes, like puts his hand over his face.
I, the player, am getting verklempt.
Heard that.
Would like to scream.
Tal is a little bit confused. Yeah.
Ark is following through with every single somatic component of this spell, and nothing feels different.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
The flames on the side of my face. The flames that are on the side of my face. Cool.
Waffles, have we mentioned that you are the most amazing?
Yep, just fantastic.
Waffles,
Just
take
yes.
an owlbear nugget.
Yeah.
I
Take them all.
cannot
Take them all.
contain
Oh
myself.
my god.
So good. That's so good.
Oh,
Jesus.
hero
Well,
point.
that friendship lasted about 4 minutes.
I love how you just took everything that we said and turned it into something that Ark would go, 1 + 2 = 3.
Yeah.
Nope.
But we meant 1 + 2 = magic.
Yeah.
Show me how
Yeah.
1 + 2 = 4, and Ark cannot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imaginary numbers. Anyway.
Okay.
I mean, he doesn't say that out loud, so like.
Oh
Yeah.
no, of course
Right,
not.
right. Tal kind of just look like their hand is still exactly where this like secret handshake ended, because they're a little bit perplexed at it. But like with their hand still up, we'll ask, Ark, if you had to define how you view us, and just kind of using their hand gestures to the three of them. Let me try to be more specific. Tal sits and thinks for like it's a solid like 10-15 seconds in silence, and you can really see them furrowing their brow. What value would you place on the three of us? And how we affect your life? Especially when compared to other people.
I am unsure. There are no others to compare them to.
Okay.
But if there is a value, I don't think a word defines it.
What do you mean?
If I told you you were my friend, what changes?
A perspective. But
Okay. If I tell you you're not my friend, what changes? Will you treat me differently? Do you value me less?
I will have different expectations for our relationship. That is the only thing that changes for me.
Why?
maybe it also like impacts trust.
So me saying I'm your friend makes me a different person. He's genuinely confused.
For me, it doesn't change you as a person. It tells me how important I am in your life. So that doesn't change who you are. That just changes who I am to you.
How can you decide who you are to me?
I don't. That's why I said it's, if you tell me that I'm your friend, my importance to you changes. You don't change.
But if I tell you that you are my friend, your importance to me does not change. If you were not important to me, then I would leave.
And that's why I've said it's not always spoken.
Actions.
It
Sometimes
sounds
it's just
like
a
it
thing.
has to be spoken.
I think to some people, it means more when it's spoken. And as someone that's made a lot of assumptions, and he just
Okay, I will keep thinking on this. Hideaki, we are not friends.
Yep, saw that one coming. Saw that one coming. But boy, I'm just gonna like sit in that joy, and you can't take that away from me.
Blasted. Okay. At that moment, let's go for the second rolls.
Oh yeah, I forgot there was other
That
rolls.
was
That's amazing.
moment.
It was great. I
That
knew it
was
was
so
coming, and I loved every
cute.
second of it.
I am enjoying the three of us trying to put emotions into words, knowing that it's not possible.
Tal is quickly realizing that they have made a lot of assumptions about a lot of things and needs to just stop talking sometimes. That's what Tal realized at the tail end there and was like, I'm just going to not talk because I don't know the answer, actually.
There's a reason you can hear Arafe go to that pause staccato talk because she has to think about everything she's going to say. She's like, it feels
Good
no,
for y'all
not
for
feels.
thinking. Good for y'all with
Me-
thinking. Let me know how that works out for you.
As the GM, this is the hardest thing to be quiet for because I want to say so much and I
Yeah.
can say nothing.
Watch us struggle.
You're not
However,
here.
I know. The
I don't see
temptation of
Odd
jumping to
around.
Overnosa. Yeah, but I was like, Overnosa wouldn't though.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, is Nim back yet?
No. However, I now need Hideaki and Arafe to make me perception checks.
All right, which one of you are going to betray me, dice?
Which one will roll 5 and which one will roll?
All right, for insight for everybody, I rolled 7 dice before we started, and they all rolled a 5. So that's how my night's gonna go.
5 is across the board.
I rolled another goddamn 5.
Hell yes, let's go.
What am I rolling for? I
terrifying.
totally missed what
Perception.
perception. Cool. That is a 12 for me.
Okay.
You're all
The
at
joy
dice.
translates natural 20.
Okay,
For
her face
29.
thrown off by this whole conversation.
So, with that natural 20, that critical success, that 29 total, we will find out what that means when we come back from break.
Oh, damn, got him.
And
Shit.
before we pop out of here to take a well-deserved break, I said it in chat, I will also say it out loud here, which is that if anybody asks why we are only on book 2, I would like everyone, all of our fans, please
Exhibit
just direct
A.
Just
them
show
to
them
this episode.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's been
Yep.
what? Probably about 30 minutes. And like in the
Yeah.
day. In the day.
In the day.
Yeah.
However, look at how much has happened. I love it so very much. However, with that, we're taking our break. So please stretch.
Butts.
Welcome back. We may or may not be still debating all about friendship and secret handshakes.
True.
Is this an ice cream
What?
headache, or am I just pondering?
It's the headache that you had from
Yes.
back during our conversation.
It's no, Arafe had that
You had
headache.
that. Yeah.
You had that headache.
Well, I had that headache. Oh, I told that went over my head. I was just. I have
No.
I have
was
zero notes. None.
You were busy.
You were busy.
Yeah, no, let me clarify then, because yes, you, Arafe, had that headache when Tal was beginning to yell and say those, like, not yell, but like beginning to get heated, in those very particular, like, you must like take care of yourself and like you can't give everything. You started
Gotcha.
having a headache kind of similar to that initial feeling that came over you before you passed out at the circus.
All right. I don't know why I registered as you were telling Tal that. Not all right. Clocked. Got
We
it.
got it now.
Got it.
All
Okay.
good.
So many things were happening.
Only 12,000 things.
I was confused.
Yeah.
But we left off on a little cliffhanger, a little cliffy hang, for one Hideaki who rolled only a natural 20 for a total of 29 on a perception check. But what perception check was it for? Let's find out. So, as this whole conversation is happening, your attention, Hideaki, is drawn to, like, you're kind of like, there is a whirlwind of conversation. You are riding that high, and then that blow / not really of like friends, not friends, secret handshakes, so many things happening, so many conversations that your eyes sort of do that when you're like, when there's so much information, you start turning your senses elsewhere, like just paying attention to who else is walking over there, who might walk in on this conversation, what's all over there, and you glance over, and you recognize that this is where you buried Kershkin with Arafe. Not only do you recognize that location, you see that relatively the dirt is more disturbed than perhaps it should be, considering the length of time it's been. And you notice that it's not quite so much of a mound as it is just flat earth.
So, by the way, considering where we are, it's likely an odd place to have what I assume was an important conversation. But is everything okay over there? It kind of points to the mound.
Why would that? It's just dirt.
Well, he's dead.
Sure.
Would I now recognize that it is flat Earth instead of rounded because Hideaki has kind of pointed it out?
I think at this point, like, he points it out, but I think the instinct is like, oh, he's just simply referring to Kershkin's grave,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that you said started digging, and it's like sort of simultaneously that Yafira chimes in as like, it's not important to the conversation. We should go.
Yeah, but it's been disturbed?
Why? What was
Yeah.
You say this like uncovering graves is like it's a Tuesday. What are you talking about?
Who's buried there?
Kershkin.
Yep.
Oh.
You buried Christian.
Yeah, me and Arafe did. Mhm.
And you were aware during the ceremony, like, that they had
That
gone
we-
off to bury Kershkin.
Yep.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
you both just opted not to come with us.
Yeah. Do you mind if I just like satiate my curiosity to see if there's anything that happened over there recently?
We should. What if the magic around the school is raising dead bodies and making them come to the places? Like the bugs.
I thought I had a big imagination, but all right.
Necromancy is not uncommon.
Sure.
Right, RFA, do you think that Psychopomp had something to do with it? I say out loud, so now the other two know that.
Hideaki, our new era arc did not.
Oh,
He just,
Well-
he just cuts from Tal to Arafe with his eyes with a bit of a grin.
talked
Tal,
about
make me a perception check.
And Ark just lets it sit. He knows. He doesn't assume that he's part of that conversation.
perception. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You recognize that, as you mentioned, Psychopomp, which you were expecting to be news to some people, that Hideaki was aware.
Damn.
Right.
Tal's gonna bottle that for a second and not know how to feel about that, actually.
And almost kind of distracting from that, though, you feel a connection again, and you almost instinctively look over as you see Nim bounding back from the forest, and you all can see Nim coming back over to Tal.
I think there is a visible, like, inhalation of breath as, like, Tal literally just like squats down and, like, holds their hands open for Nim, kind of doing, like, the gimme, like, the uppies hands, but for Nim.
Yep. And Nim jumps right up.
Did Nim let Janatimo know that we're coming later?
No.
Okay.
Nim let my patron know that something might be coming for them.
I thought that was a dream.
No.
Or you,
No.
you
Unless-
access it during dreams.
Nim doesn't.
Okay.
Arafe's gonna look at Ark and go, while we were off doing our own things, I was visited by a psychopomp who is now looking for Tal's patron.
What is a psychopomp?
Do you want to make a religion check to see if you are
I
aware?
did already. I rolled a 1.
Okay. Got it.
Amazing. Incredible.
Well, the one that I met is the manifestation of the will of Pharasma. And they were curious why Tal's soul didn't cross over.
Did you tell them?
I did.
Good.
Visibly taken aback by that good. Good?
Well, you told them we cast a resurrection ritual.
No.
That is commonplace magic that brings souls back.
She's not sure how to respond to this.
As that
when you get
conversation's
bested by
happening,
logic. Oh, no.
Hideaki's gonna like use that opportunity to just sort of slink over to
Good.
It's like, I know this already. Okay, bye.
I think we had a hand in it, but I also think that Tal's patron had a significant hand in it as well.
Where did you meet this psychopomp?
Right here.
You point over to where you then see Hideaki kind of walking over.
Pink Panther. Da 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 da.
I will say, Arafe, you still thinking they're investigating disturbed Earth here. You know why the Earth is disturbed.
I know,
What?
but I also still
Yeah.
think Kirschkin is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know,
Why-
you might want to handle it.
Why were you here?
I was attempting to learn a new spell.
In the middle of the... I mean, I guess you can learn magic anywhere. It just doesn't seem...
You need the components of the spell to learn it. Right, Ark?
It's very hard to learn spells alone. You're at a school that could supply any components you need.
Not this one.
Then it is necromancy, correct?
Yes.
Oh.
I will say the three of you are, correct me if you're wrong, but if I'm wrong, but like walking over to be with Hideaki.
Ark standing wherever anyone else is to talk to them, basically.
Yeah.
I just need
Yeah.
to know if Hideaki heard that or not.
It depends if someone had started making their way over there. I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like the scene has been that Tal has been shooting so many questions that Arafe hasn't had a chance to walk that direction yet. That's the, that's
Yeah.
the,
Yeah,
that's the
I
feel
think-
I've gotten
yeah.
from it.
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
very
I
good
think,
point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tried to.
Yeah.
Duval's
I mean,
gonna try to find this not body. It's
Some,
fine.
our fox
Nobody's
boy
gonna
has
stop
some
him.
big ears. Maybe he heard.
Listen.
Maybe.
Listen better.
Listen better.
Get good ears.
Get good
Good ears.
The Talyata story.
Meow. Why were you trying to learn it in secret?
I didn't know if it would work. And I didn't know if you'd approve. In her mind, she's hearing Tal say, "Don't lie to us. Don't lie to us."
Will it make you
Great.
stronger?
Potentially.
I
don't-
approve.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ark
I
is
don't-
not hard to please.
I don't care if you use all magic
I-
can be used for good.
I will add the. You are all absolutely valid for feeling how you feel about this, and it is not. There are necromantic spells with the necromancy tag that are not necessarily
Animation
With the-
spells.
well with
Right.
evil. We're doing away with the remaster with like terms like evil, but they're not unholy necessarily. I believe. I will.
Yeah,
triple
I
check.
have like grim
They're
tendrils.
not as
necromancy.
morally ambiguous.
Right.
Right,
So-
but you've also not told us exactly what you're trying to do.
Nope.
Correct.
Doing that on purpose because you haven't asked.
Yeah,
But-
correct, exactly.
Someone could put together talking about components that you don't have and Kershkin's body. But also, if a school like the Magaambya does not, like the Magaambya, does not have the components that you need, we're talking about something morally ambiguous that the school does frown on and could result in problems with the school.
All of the stuff with the school, Tal doesn't care. Tal
I just wanted to
Tal
make sure you
lived in
had
a
the
circus where
context.
kind of if you don't do harm, do whatever you want. That's how Tal was raised.
With that extra knowledge, Ark would say, "Did you get caught?"
Technically, yes. Not by anyone at the school. That's when the psychopomp showed up. And she'll actually like rub the birthmark on her chest and go, I was influenced to stop. I didn't end up completing it.
Can I make a religion check? Isn't this like against Pharasma's stuff?
It
Edicts, I think that's what it's called.
Yes. They're anathemas.
Yeah, it's a Pharasma anathema. I probably won't make it, but
Let's make a religion check.
can I make an academia lore instead? Maybe I've read this.
It would still be religion.
Okay.
I valid attempt though.
Very valid. I just don't think you're researching the gods.
I'm gonna use a hero point because I got to plenty.
Do I?
Oh, dip.
12.
Hell yeah.
I will say, even you may not recognize like the distinction of like an anathema and an edict of Pharasma, but with the 12, because Pharasma is one of the rather more well-known deities, that you are aware that Pharasma has to do with death and souls, and it can, like, because she rubbed her birthmark, which is the symbol of Pharasma, you can probably put two and two together that it's something that Pharasma is not a fan of.
Are you still with your god?
What do you mean?
Well, it seemed like you were going against them to get stronger. But you told me once that your powers come from your god, so I don't know why you would go against them to lose powers to get stronger.
I guess I've never thought of it that way. It's not like I chose it.
You did not
didn't-
choose to learn this spell?
No, I didn't choose Pharasma.
Well, you think, right? You don't know. You don't remember everything.
Valid point.
Hideaki,
I don't recall
they're
doing
talking
that.
about secrets over here. Says
Who was that?
Yafira. Yafira.
At like he's
Syrup
like
in between the bushes.
yeah. Hey, psst, Duval, go back over there.
No,
totally kidding.
Yafira.
My
Yeah,
shadow,
I'm totally kidding.
my shadow
Totally
just
kidding.
goes over, reaches up, and grabs his foot and shakes it.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I think so. Like right before that, as they're having the conversation, like he's like looking like down at the grave, and like he's like studying it for like a minute because y'all were talking for very long, and like he actually like at this point has like gone down to like a knee. He's like, like he's going to like to reach into the mountain, and then that's when like your Fira says that. He's just like, really?
Yeah.
They're not,
It
they're
looks
not
like he looks.
secrets.
Yeah, then what are they?
Talking about why the graves dug up, if you want to know.
It's literally what I would love to know.
That's not true. I don't know.
Okay, so R2 doesn't know the secret. All right, next.
Are you just yelling?
Yeah.
Yes.
From where you are?
100%.
Arc the bullhorn, I don't care.
right? Hey,
I need to get
Yaki's got it
bullhorn
too.
just to complete the
Complete the
circle.
ensemble. Yeah. We're gonna be a band. Band of just bullhorns.
Erife,
Terrible.
what exactly were you trying to do?
I found a scroll a while ago of Raised Dead, and I was trying to learn it.
Does that sound loud enough for Hideaki to hear?
No, they're back to talking in like tones that are just out of earshot.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to
And then
Magaambya
he's
to
like-
know I'm doing
and then
this.
he-
You kids,
and
I'm
then
not
he-
that.
they-
I have
they go back
intelligence
to
of
it.
0, not -1.
They go back to it like he didn't yell, and he's just like, seriously? And then he gets up and walks back over.
Erife, you hear a small sigh of relief.
Why are you concerned?
I'm not.
Under the metagaming assumption that Ark has at least been kind of looking into necromancy after his teacher Iska told him to, rather than divination.
Mm-hmm.
He understands Raised Dead would not work on Christian, I assume. Now, there's a spell called Animate Dead, which is like much more evil. Raised Dead's like a resurrection spell.
It was Animate Dead, wasn't it?
Pretty sure.
Was it Raised?
It may have.
I just want to.
Check that
You
book
think
of
I know my notes?
That's a very good. Thank you. This is a good thing to clarify because we need to make sure we get it.
Yeah,
right.
I want to clarify it, and I actually thought that Erife was lying. And
No,
and said
my-
Raised Dead.
Create undead. It should have
Oh,
said
okay.
create undead.
Oh,
I think Animate Dead
that's
is the D&D
different.
That's
There we
different.
go, there we go.
It helps if
Oh,
I
here we
remember
go.
what my spells are.
No, it's okay. So that adds a lot of context, as well as this actually has, because I was looking at the other one and I was surprised because I was like, huh. But this one has the evil trait. It won't in the remaster, but right now it does. So it will be actually unholy. So this one is unholy.
Yeah, Raise Dead's a good spell. That's like resurrection. Like.
Okay.
Okay. Then do we retcon and say that you said?
Yes.
Yeah. How do you want to phrase it?
I would have said create undead. I wouldn't have lied. If Aries' brain was mine, it would work. Because this happened like 5 days ago.
Yeah.
So secrets, what was it?
I believe Arfe attempted to create undead with Kirshen's body.
Ooh, shit.
You took that rather well.
I mean, it's one of those, like, I feel like I feel like I'd probably feel differently if I saw someone dead, you know? It's like, oh, that's probably not great, but, you know, in intent and all that stuff. I mean, you haven't done it. I wouldn't have a personal problem if you did do it.
Well, what are you hoping to do with him if it worked?
I wasn't going to cast the spell. I was just trying to learn it.
With the intent of eventually casting it?
If needed.
To do what?
Yeah.
Having
Walk us down the
an
road.
army?
Walk us down the road of logic there. Yeah.
Having additional... There's gunslingers in this world, right? I can use this analogy of bullets in the chamber.
Yes, though
Okay.
not that common.
Yeah.
Having more swords in the sheets.
Yeah.
Daggers in the belt.
Having
Arrows
more
at the ready.
arrows
Arrows in the quiver. Arrows
in the quiver.
There we go. We got there, everybody.
Knowing it and not needing it is great. But needing it and not knowing it is not.
I get it.
I do
Ark,
too.
with your research into necromancy, though, I think that you would definitely have like no problem having learned lots about, you know, necromancy as a concept and as a type of magic, but also being at this school and learning it at this school, like very clear cut, like long text explanations as to why dealing with unholy is not okay and why that's not taught, and like, you know, there you would have access to plenty of reasoning.
For sure. And he would also assume that Airfey has that same access. And he just kind of looks at her and goes, as long as you do not lose your powers, then learn what you need.
I do have a GM question though. Does Ari know that she knows this spell? I know it's a really weird question, but because of how she learned it, does she know she knows it?
You're asking did you successfully learn it?
I know I did because Yafira kind of completed it at the end.
No,
She didn't.
not quite. No.
Okay, never mind then.
No, yeah. It's not in your repertoire.
Okay.
Take it off of your character sheet.
I was looking like, did I put it in here? No, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I will say that what we in meta know, Yafira did something.
Yeah.
But it was not the completion of that ritual. It was something else.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, something happened, and then that was the end of the episode. If
I did not read the subtext of that scene very well.
Jacob remembers very, very well.
Were you screaming in your room when that happened?
Yes. Yes, I was.
Yeah, I also was. Yes.
Hideaki, you had your hand up.
I did. So as Hideaki said, he doesn't really have a personal problem with any of this. But what I would like to check is if he's read anything in regards to such spells or necromancy in general causing a effect on the person casting it, like a corruption, something like that. That's what he's more interested in. If he can, if there's a role for that.
Absolutely. Make me what do I want this to be, y'all?
Just an auto success.
Arcana?
Thievery. You're stealing knowledge.
Thievery.
Arcana or occultism? Occultism usually ties a little more into like curses and
Sure.
powers overtaking you. But your call.
Yeah, this is because there's a whole like
It's a lot.
mythos, not mythos. Like there's a lot of information on like what the different types of magics are. So just do Arcana for me. To me, that's also your researched magic.
He's way too curious. I'm gonna burn a hero point.
Oh,
Because I rolled a natural 3, and I don't want it. So that is much better. It's Arcana, right?
Yep.
That is a dirty 20.
okay. Yes. Caveat. Big it depends. You don't know specifically if create undead would do so, but overall, and I want to do this carefully because I'm trying not to lean too much on evil and good as traits because that is
Sure.
going away. And however, I don't have in front of me the full definition of holy, unholy, and how they're going to do that.
And he wouldn't care about that anyway. Like, he would care how it impacts
Sure.
your face specifically.
But so there's a couple things that you do know with the dirty 20. Like, first of all, divine servants / like people that align with those deities, the good quote unquote deities are holy, know that, like, it's an anathema, and you do know that means that, like, you do change in a way that it might sever your connection with your god. It might cause that's one impact technically, and it's a bit more like abstract theory. If it affects your magic and it affects your power, does that then not mean that you have changed in some fashion because you've cast unholy? You know what I mean? And other things can corrupt. Other things have other lasting effects. So the worry is on your mind that yes, it is possible that it could have a lasting impact.
Cool.
It's kind of a moot point, though. I didn't end up succeeding, so.
Is it a moot point now or forever?
I could try again in the future, but knowing the repercussions of it now and knowing there's a psychopomp paying attention, it's not as good of an idea.
Perhaps.
So did you go through with the ritual?
No.
Then the body's still there.
Should be.
Let's go find out.
I reburied it essentially before I left. I didn't get to it, but I just remade the grave before I left.
Sure. Then do we find out or go to Janatimo?
Why not both? This is a quick check, right? Sanity check. Can't hurt, right?
Sure. Arafe does not see the point. She didn't succeed, so she's just not willing to not get in the way in the way right now.
It is also morning, and people
Right.
are on campus, so I mean, you could go dig up a grave, I suppose.
Ark actually doesn't see the point either because he seems to be like, oh, Arafe said the body's there, so the body's there.
He'll just look at it for like a ridiculously long time. All right.
I mean, you were over there. Is there a reason you think it might not be?
Not really.
Okay, then let us head to Janatimo.
Yeah, let's go continue with what we need to get done.
And we're off.
Yes.
You head off
Yeah.
to catch Janatimo. Amazing. Okay, so with this grave behind you, and perhaps one long-lasting look from Hideaki, And that extra voice from Overnosa. It looks rather flat, doesn't it? In your head.
Oh yeah, we're totally coming back later.
All right. And you continued down. Who knows how many times you've walked this already to this morning? This very path, as both of you have taken long walks. And make your way to
have a Hollywood
Janatimo.
walk, like a Hollywood Walk of Fame. Like we're all on it. Like it just,
Yeah.
Just like us, a whole half an hour of our morning took 2 hours of our game.
Get us.
And onwards you go. Knocking on his office door, I assume. You go and you wait for him to answer. And Janatimo shows up. Little bit of like unbrushed hair. Like it's not that early in the morning. But he's also just seems to not really be like having left the house yet. But he sees you all and smiles wide and like runs a hand through his hair. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. So are we too early?
No. Come in. And you see him like gesture with a hand that has like a half-eaten apple in it, and he's like, just literally throws it behind him. He comes in and kind of like steps back and lets you all in.
As we
I love
walk
him
in, Arafane's
so
just gonna look
much.
at everyone and go, "Let's be normal today."
When are we not
You
normal?
say this?
What does
Yeah, I
that
will literally
mean?
say this to everybody.
Yeah, like he's 100% going to press you on that. When are we not normal?
We had a mental breakdown the last time we were here.
I was
No, we
fine.
Ark, you didn't. Just
Tal, you know exactly what Arafane's talking about.
Yeah, I know. And Tal is just like staring at you with like a
yeah, it's been a day. It's been a day already, so let's.
It's like 9 o'clock in the morning.
I know. It's been a long day.
I made a
Fair
friend
enough.
and lost one.
Yep, you sure did.
Technically, too.
Did you? Tell me about it.
Oh,
Me and
no.
Hideaki became friends, and then it didn't feel different, so now we're not. We're also not rivals. Because we're not on equal skill level.
You see him take all of this with stride and be like, that sounds like a long story that I'd love to hear one day, but I don't think that's why you're here. What can I help you with?
Also, Eric, you're right. It has been a day. You're absolutely right. So, I guess we owe you a bit of an update. So we went to, what was the name of that thing again? Jacob completely forgot the name of the
Hababe
building.
Hababe. Oh, the Harambe building. Right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
The Hababe
so,
building.
Nadi.
mhm. Right. Anyway, so this is your fault somehow. So yeah, we checked it out because they were couldn't initially figure out a way inside.
They?
The
Inadi.
Inadi. The Inadi.
Oh, the Inadi were in the Hababe building?
No, they were outside.
outside of it.
Yes.
They couldn't
Gotcha,
get
so
in.
you went and followed up with the Inadis.
Yes.
Right.
I am on the same page now, and you seem like pull his chair out and like sit in it and spin back around. Do I need to take notes?
You sure?
No.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. You.
Yes, no. Split the vote, Tal.
Can you remember everything we tell you?
Very much, yes. I have a very good mind for stories.
Then take notes if you want.
We can't exactly
Do you want
quiz
the
you.
whiteboard or the blackboard?
Don't offer him a blackboard.
So, and he gets up.
We don't have a like 2-scale map of the Hababe building.
Yeah, and it looks awful.
As Hideaki
Yeah, it's
gets
like
up
in
to
stick
start
figures.
to start
And just one
preparing to like
giant
grab the
snake.
chalk.
Yeah, like
Um,
it like the drawing starts like pretty clean, and then he gets really bored, and he just like squiggles, and it's some
just starts. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
he
can
just-
keep up with the combo.
yeah, 100%,
By
absolutely.
the time that the drawing is done, he has also somehow made popsicle stick figures to show our
Mhm,
route.
mhm.
Mhm.
Hideaki, can you do a perfect circle?
No, not like this. And we never leave because he's just gonna keep doing it.
No,
So
the wrist, Hideaki, the wrist.
oh, I see. Okay. So so we found these like weird. Actually, do we see this? I know, obviously, like I don't know the trap result, but like we all did see the
We
trap.
saw
right?
snake like
Right.
illusion.
You saw like
weapons.
yeah, like
Well, yeah,
some-
Devil's
Yeah,
cursed.
Right.
Yeah, well,
Yep. Oh, Jacob remembers very.
I might not. It depends if sleeping gets rid of it. Who knows? Actually,
We don't
Who
know.
knows?
We'll
We
figure
don't
it
know.
out
Nobody
Anyway.
knows.
Nothing's
nobody
happening.
knows
Yeah.
except for nothing's
Yeah,
happened.
so-
Yeah. Who knows?
It was
We're fine.
bit-
It's fine.
a bit
Yeah.
odd. There's a little bit of storage. We found these two. I think it was a double door that was trapped. Thought initially maybe it was some sort of prank, but no matter. Found a
Double
very
door?
interesting. Yep, inside. And when we tried to open it, and it was double door, right? Unless it was a single. I'm just making
It
shit
was
up.
a double. Art
yeah.
kind of butts in and says, after we broke the initial door.
So maybe we should start with, we went and spoke with the Anati. The Nadi were outside the Hababe building. They wanted to go inside of that building because they were feeling drawn to it. That's why we went.
Getting drawn to the building.
Yes.
An empty
He writes out
storage
drawn like really long, like a dream letters, like drawn, the claw, that kind of thing.
building.
So that's why we
Interesting.
went inside in the first place.
To
Sorry,
investigate.
Hideaki.
Makes
Go
perfect
ahead.
sense.
It's totally fine.
I actually was able to follow that a little bit more. No offense.
Oh, so we went inside. It seemed very unused at first. Were you talking to me or Hideaki?
He is not happy with that.
See, and not. He sees like your face.
I'll
Hideaki.
just draw then.
No, well, first of all, visual aids are incredibly important and not to be underrated, but more so what I meant was it's important to start at the beginning. Any good story starts at the beginning.
That's not true. Okay.
Then why was the term media res invented?
See, they are friends. Hideaki and R2 are on the same page. They are friends again. Damn it.
Waffles, get out of here. I'm not gonna break. But you can choose to continue or whoever.
Go ahead, Airfay. Fire away.
Her guilt complex kicks hard and continues.
And he knows.
Jerk. So we went inside. It was fairly unused. We found the trap. Well, we went to go through a door. It was somehow trapped with an illusion of some kind.
Airfay opened it without checking.
I opened the door and some spectral snakes came out.
Spectral snakes. All right, perhaps meant to scare. What's your best assumptions?
That's what we thought. She looks at the others.
I think it was a prank by like gremlins. They were not very scary.
Yeah, I don't
That's what I just said.
I don't think any of us feel different.
Sure. The Hababe building was an old storage facility that we, I believe, moved a couple of years back. I'm not quite sure. I sort of heard about it.
There's
but
a
I
lot of
wasn't here.
snake everything in that building, though.
There was.
We did find snakes in there.
Oh,
Some dead
snakes.
snake people.
That's like the fourth stanza.
Yep.
You see, like he's
Yep.
been very like chill and like laid back and enjoying this conversation, but he kind of double takes at you. I'm sorry, you snakes or snake people?
Yes.
Both. The snake people were dead.
People.
And the snakes, one of them became dead, but was also very big. Like, bigger than all of us.
They wore
we killed
Magaambya
it.
garb.
Yep. Two dead
Hideaki,
bodies.
if I may, he kind of stands up and asks for the chalk.
Tosses it.
That's your only job, Hideaki. Don't do it.
He sketches out what seems to be like similar to like the snake people that you saw, not specifics, but rather sort of like humanoid with a snake head and tail, like almost very more like anatomical sketch of a kind. Snake people like this is in serpent folk.
Yes.
Yep.
Two of
Super
them.
dead.
Dead.
They looked. Well, one of them looked like it had been scared to death.
Yeah, frozen in fear.
Serpent folk on campus. What else did you find?
Before we found the serpent folk, we fought a golem.
Boy, did we.
Golem.
Hmm.
A trap. golem.
And
May I?
yes.
And he'll ask for the chalk back.
Yeah, he goes and sits back down. But you can tell he's a little bit more like serious now.
Hmm.
And he'll start to draw out the golem.
We also found a trap door that leads outside of the building to somewhere near the edge of the Magaambya.
I will
After the
get-
Oh, sorry.
I will get the plans for the building, see if that was originally there or something new.
And then after
It's-
this, go ahead.
I was just going to say that it was very small. Everyone else had. I mean, I had an okay time, but everyone else had a. It was very cramped.
It was.
Did it seem freshly dug?
Recall did it. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think
it
so.
did, but yeah, GM did it.
Yeah.
I'll make an intelligence check.
Well, like compared
Go
to
ahead.
like the statues in the Magaambya, or like compared to Kirschkin's grave. Like,
I love that
spectrum are
for
we
you.
talking
Fair.
about?
Yeah.
That's
we're
funny.
talking like part of the building originally, like yes,
Oh.
or since then.
Since then, I
Oh.
think it was.
I'd
kind of
say since
obvious.
then.
I
Yeah.
I
But
think
not
Tal
new.
will just Tal would say I don't think that it was part of the building. It just kind of opens into the campus.
I see. Okay, so potentially a
Like-
way in for those not on campus.
There was no
Maybe
door
even-
at the exit.
Would you all
Okay.
would you all ascertain that it was an older tunnel than, say, the tunnels underneath the school when we went to go fight Stone Ghost?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, a golem which you fought.
Yes,
So
so
you
we've
encountered a golem before,
No.
No.
Nope.
and you defeated it.
Yep. Thanks to fire.
yes.
Impressive.
Hideaki,
would-
Hideaki almost did it, and then I did.
But goodness sakes that I figured out the fire thing so that to set you up.
It's true. I hit it with the lantern.
Takulu was not lying. That you all are rather impressive, but continue.
So there was the snake door, then the trap door, then the golem, then the dead serpent folk, then the snakes.
Mm-hmm.
So the dead serpent folk were past the golem.
Yes.
but outside of the snakes.
Correct.
But there was also a secret passage that could get you past the golem without
Yes.
talking to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I see. The golem, which door was it facing? To the serpent folk or to the other door?
No, the
The
other
other door.
one.
The other.
So if you
So it was,
didn't
like,
know there was a
protecting.
secret,
Yes.
right? If you didn't know there was a secret passage there, then you would have to go into the door that the golem was looking at.
Exactly.
And it was a golem that was very not susceptible to magic or really kind of anything except for fire.
Actually,
Yep.
that's why I was so impressed with the golem. That is pretty standard for golem.
Oh,
Kind. Well, they're constructs, I suppose.
Mhm.
There's different kinds of golems, and it is. Continue.
And then,
Speaking
one,
then-
and then one of the
Yeah, go
serpent
ahead.
folk looked like they were scared to death, which I think is synonymous with higher level casting.
I see. And the bodies are still there?
Yes.
If no one else has
They
moved
should
them,
be.
yes.
Okay.
We left a baby snake there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that can be handled without issue. We can set that out of the school bounds.
And then
Unless
we
you
found
would
that
like to handle that.
we. I mean, we could.
So you see Airfay is going to say something, sees the others shake their head and go, no.
The last room. I'm so confused about the last room because the last room was used recently, and had. I'll dig around for the 2 other jars
Like
that I have of
components?
bugs.
Yep.
Can I use your coffee table?
Yes, of course. Kind of grabs some papers off there and puts them like on another precarious pile.
Yeah.
Here.
And Ark will take all of the stuff that he grabbed from the table and make a perfect recreation of it.
You actually did that for the Anadis and left most of the stuff there
We
for
did.
them.
Yep.
Then he will help Hideaki draw it.
Helping.
Like
you can
friends
kinda sit
do.
back.
Yeah, he'll put his hand on Hideaki's ghost style. Like they're making pottery together.
You're standing behind, so you have to reach around.
Did it get high in here? Janatimo starts fanning himself.
Star, it's the fanfic. It's fanfic time.
Wow.
Arafay, you do see the pile of papers that he moved is like the beginning of a fanfic that Janatimo's writing.
No, move it this way.
I knew it.
He stretched his back sore from
Sachet.
laying on the desk.
Hideaki, you're so tall, I cannot reach without getting closer.
Please stop. So,
It's
the
perfect.
I'm so distracted and distraught. It's not even funny.
As they're drawing it,
Yes.
they'll also say it was fairly used, but we couldn't find a door going in or out other than the one that led to the snakes. And the Anadi are looking into it.
Oh, okay. So they're okay. They're
Oh, they didn't go in with us. We wanted to make sure that this was safe. But when we brought them in, they couldn't.
After the fact.
Afterwards, they couldn't really find anything that they were pulled to specifically. They were kind of vague about it.
Yeah.
You see him like he's listening to y'all, but he's glancing at the 2 jars of like insects that you put in front of his desk, and you see him like scrunch his nose a little bit, and he leans back a little.
I will slowly take the jars back.
And he's not doing it in like a overtly like, oh ew gross, just like a little like you notice the subtle like okay. So first, it is concerning to hear. So, what do you all know about serpent folk?
If I recall very
Roll for
well.
it?
I think we did.
I think
roll
we
for it,
did
and I
that.
think it
We
was
did.
nothing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we were
I don't
like,
think
the
any of us
goggles, they do
knew
nothing.
anything about
Yeah,
it.
you're
Yeah.
right.
Nothing except for the bodies had died relatively recently, like 5 days, and they were
Yeah,
in
like within a
Magaambya
week,
gear. That's what
All we know
that's
is
what
they
Waffles
ruled
remembers.
before Earthfall. That's all we know.
Perfect. Okay, well, let's start there. It is a little concerning. No, very concerning too. Well, it is concerning that there are serpent folk on campus, though interesting that they are dead. Seeing your
Is it-
confusion, I will, if you don't mind, tell.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Is it more concerning that there are serpent folk on campus, or serpent folk in general? Like the fact that like they're wearing
Well,
Magaambya.
I will tell
gear,
you
is that-
a story about serpent folk, and
I'll sit
perhaps it
down.
will-
The babies?
Doggo's doing
Dog,
things.
he's ridiculous.
Dog off screen
He dropped
doing
it in a box and then was scared of the box and slowly took it off the box. I had to.
I
Okay.
love him so much.
baby.
So
Bacchus.
long before Earthfall, they once This is, of course, stories that I've been told, so take some facts and take some as conjecture. However, long before Earthfall, they once controlled a vast empire. an empire that was eventually defeated by the Islanti. Now, their culture, from what we've gathered, researchers and the like, was a magocracy. And, well, the years have not been kind to their numbers. I would elaborate on, there's many fun mythos and stories around their eventual demise of a group of peoples. However, just due to the nature of a rather more serious conversation, I will perhaps have to leave that for another time. However, again, their numbers have long since been in decline, as well as their talents. They worship Eudursius. Are you familiar with that deity?
No.
Well, yeah, well, you know, funnily enough, and you can tell he can't he can't quite keep himself from regaling in some of the fun stories. They do there's a story about old Mage Datembe, some believe, that some of the knowledge that he brought to this world was stolen from the severed head of Eudursius. And then after which he then sewed his mouth shut. There's many fascinating tales, but the point being that they've long since declined in numbers and in their magical talents. So rarely, as far as I'm aware, are they in possession of strong magics, which you mentioned Arc too. Perhaps a higher...
Well, I believe they died to strong magics, so they probably did not possess them.
Of course. Now, and he kind of stands up again, going to the little sketch of the building that you've provided, Hideaki. Here are the serpents. So there's an entrance in and out from here, points to the secret entrance, and this golem was protecting this door. But there's an exit out of campus, or in a less noticeable direction, from that room. So... And then there's snakes here, which tells me that they had to pass the snakes. And you said the snakes were aggressive?
Kind of.
Kind
Well,
of.
well,
They were hungry. I think.
Hungry.
yeah.
Well, I
Yeah, I kinda
have
feel bad.
1,001 theories running through my head, though none are answers. This is fascinating. Now, regarding the original question of the Anadis, it seems you've talked to them. Have you gathered anything about what was pulling them? You said to that storeroom?
No.
We
Nothing
didn't.
yet.
And we also released some insects in various areas to see if they would pull us in a direction, and they didn't.
That's smart as well. I see. So,
That was my idea.
a good one at that. Well, I will heighten some security as precautionary measures and inform a select few to keep eyes out. Given recent events and their impact on the city as a whole, I have concerns over raising the alarm with so little information. If you would assist me in keeping eyes out, I will inform a select few teachers and, of course, some Tempest Sun mages. We will increase security, and we will see what we can learn more on our end. I will take a look. And the Anadis are in the building. Do they wish to remain there? Do they still feel that pull?
I believe we left them outside the building for the evening, if I recall. They were going to camp out again.
Right.
But they do want to be in that building, and since it's
Yep.
unused and seems cleared for the most part.
It's a baby snake.
Yeah, I think we told them just to wait till we get the snake out, but I think that was it.
Absolutely. I think that is a good call. Perhaps if they can remain there, they can learn a little bit more about what drew them to it. And if that is,
they did mention that they didn't feel any sort of pull until they got to Natambu.
Right.
But they did feel a pull to Natambu prior to that.
no.
No? They just walked to Natambu for no reason at all?
No, they've explained
Well, they
that
go to the
they
school,
were
right?
looking to, like, learn a bit more magic, period.
Oh, okay.
And then when they hit Natambu, something drew them to the school.
Understood.
Right.
Gotcha.
Art didn't say it.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll make the storerooms into makeshift living space for them. We will help finish clearing out the bodies, and we'll take a look at them. I appreciate you bringing this to my attention as quickly as yes.
Erife, do you have those chimes that we found? They were like in one of the
Yes.
first rooms, and I only know this because I looked at my notes.
Very probably. Yeah. I do
They
have
had
those chimes.
Carved descriptions of cracked and shattered mountains on the chimes.
Yes.
Oh. What? There was a chime
Give me
ringer?
the
I will-
Chime?
This was
And
under a crate.
I'll grab them out of the bag of holding and show them.
Hold.
Wait one.
Wait.
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 Give some love to your note takers, everybody.
Absolutely.
Book 2.
He kind of looks at it for a second and takes it from you. And you've like wrapped it up so that it won't.
Yeah, so it won't chime.
Mm-hmm.
You almost maybe wince as he kind of takes it and shakes it out a little bit. And he's like, and so what are the chime ringers doing here? Let's see. And he kind of looks at it. This
The
looks
what?
to be the chime ringers. You've not seen them in the Natambu?
Have we seen them in a Tambu?
Not very often.
Okay.
I don't think it would be something that you may have put together.
You've kept
the
us
Tempest-
very busy. We haven't left the school much.
They're like the general's day-to-day security of the streets of Natambu. They carry these chimes as means of notifying. They have different effects. This one seems to be, and he kind of takes a second to look at it, places it down, looks at the runes. A warcaller's chime of destruction. And I'll show it to y'all.
Oh, it's
This
so
is-
pretty.
Whoa!
It is. You ring the
So
chime,
pretty.
unleashing its magic. The specific of each chime, as well as the activation frequency, if any, appears in the entry. So this is a series of shattered mountains are carved into this chime, and then when activated, you touch the chime against an unattended object, casting shatter upon the object, ignoring the object's hardness, blah, 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 blah. You can use it once per day. And they usually use this as extra protection. Now, as a whole, the Tempest, some mages are the protectors of the city. However, volunteers in the city themselves take on the role of chime ringers to sort of keep the peace and assist in the day-to-day. This was there too. Oh, that's odd.
It was kind of
It was hidden.
shoved under.
Perhaps how they originally gained entry, whoever this is.
Makes sense.
I mean, maybe, but we didn't see anything that was broken unless.
Is it possible someone stole it?
Possible. Either this is a citizen of Natambu and a chime ringer themselves, though I doubt they would leave it. Likely this seems to me like it would have been pilfered of some form, but can't totally cross it off as an option. It looks like this might be useful to you, so by all means, keep it. Kind of hands it back to you.
Carefully wraps it back up, sticks it back in the bag of holding.
At least it's not cursed. And
At least one thing we got out of there isn't cursed.
Yeah, we have 3 other things.
but I will, like I said, look into it and clear the storerooms up. Is there anything else?
Something kind of separate from this. So anyone else has something about this current subject? Feel
I have
free.
something about not this subject.
Would you like to go first?
No, because mine will be alone.
Oh, okay. So, considering our accuracy in finding abandoned buildings with stuff that it decides to try to kill us, I was wondering if there more abandoned buildings here that need to be cleared out?
95% of the campers.
Not that I am aware of. I'll be honest, I don't keep track of where storage usually moves.
Because we're like 4 for 4 at this point.
It's a lot. I'm getting really concerned about it, if I'm being honest.
Only when others are sending us there.
That's true.
That's true.
Stop meddling the plot of a book.
It's almost like a higher power is sending us in a
It's
direction.
sending us
So
in a direction with danger.
Gods are real.
Will admit, given the amount of the teachers here do like to leave and come back very often, and that does make property a little less stationary, and things do fall through the cracks quite often. Bureaucratically, we're not the city. We do our best.
Right, but there's students who live here all year round.
Until they come and start coming and going themselves, of course, yes. But some live on off campus. But I mean, yeah, maybe we can have students in charge of. I'll bring that up. Writes a note down of maybe I can do a little bit of fixing.
Maybe
of
we
this
don't have
here.
to do everything.
Yeah, because we're fortunate that
Volunteer
we were
basis.
able to figure out the golem situation, but if someone didn't, then it doesn't take much of an imagination to figure out what would happen.
No, absolutely. I agree, and I am more than a little impressed by what you've achieved in a short time frame of look into the reasons the Nadis are here, and look at all you've accomplished. How do you feel? Are you proud of
of what we've
yourselves?
gotten done.
We have yet to finish it.
Right.
We still have to look into the griffins.
That's true. But to answer your question, I'm feeling pretty damn validated today.
Kind of smiles and gives that yes, kind of proper good answer style appreciation.
I feel like we have yet to finish it.
Finish what exactly? The
Well,
task?
it's
Yes, the
we
task
just
as a
finished
whole.
part of it.
Yes, there's the griffins that I would like some additional information on,
And
and
we still don't know about the Anadi.
true, but you
there's a
pursued and made
connection.
progress, and progress is still important.
Or what experiments someone was running, or why. Or why the bugs are attracted here.
Are you
Sure.
leaving that left unknown, or I thought I heard that the Anadis are looking into it on your behalf because you've impressed them so well.
I doubt
I
they'll
mean, it's
find
still
anything.
open, right?
You have little faith in them.
Yes. They could not even get in the door.
Some
To be
talents
fair,
are.
It took us a long time to get through the doors.
Yeah, we
Let's not. Some talents lie in combat, and some are more on the experimental and behind the table front, and some are in stories, and every talent is necessary in its own goal. But perhaps they will fail you, and perhaps they will impress you.
Sure.
I feel like it's an open situation that might be connected to what we find in Natambo. So there's more information to find. So
Absolutely. Sounds like you're well on your way to making progress, and that alone is good. So, do you have not yet investigated the griffins, is my understanding?
I
No.
think that's today after school.
How would you do that?
I'm asking you to.
That's a GM answer.
It's also every teacher that we've talked to
Every
the entire
professor.
fucking time.
Well,
any
if you want a
class.
legitimate answer, I would say that due to the amount of meetings I have and the amount of people demanding my attention as a learned one at the school, I would take a look at my agenda and I would take a look at my available time to investigate, and I would send 4 capable students.
Oh my
find some
god, are
information
you
for me.
serious? Of course, we know that.
Could we have one more capable student then? Then he looks at Hideaki and smiles.
Tal,
I think that has
Tal
to do with the
snorts.
friendship conversation that I'm not going to get a part of.
Correct. we are
Tal
not friends or rivals.
Tal tries to hold back laughter and fails slightly.
Arafe tries and fails.
Validation.
And I love that in character arc has now just made Arafe and Tal start laughing, to which Janatimo does sort of like, with perhaps more keen eye than you may expect, like look at this
Sure.
and smile to himself.
Sure.
Well, I appreciate the update, and let me know if there's any further updates.
Sure.
I have something to speak with you about alone.
Oh, certainly, yes.
So before we go, so after class, everyone wants to head to town.
That's a good idea.
Maybe while you're doing this chat, we could gather some supplies if we want to.
Sure.
And meet at the Sprout House after class to...
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
God, this feels like one of
Okay.
those like go team things again. Oh,
It can be that in
it already is, Tal.
In your head.
It already is. It's like 3 times already, actually. One after another. Cool.
As we walk out, you hear Arafe go, Tal, what was the thing you did earlier?
I think Tal would say it loud enough so that R could hear, would say, shh, it's a secret.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just nods. He doesn't say anything. He just nods. Like,
With that, as you all,
We have exited so Art can have his one-on-one time.
perfect. The door closes behind you, and you are left Ark alone with Janatimo.
You are smarter than Teacher Ott, correct?
On what metric?
Ranking.
I am a learned one in this ranking of the school. He is not.
Correct. So you are a higher ranking.
Yes, in school.
I will trust you more with this then. And Ark will hand over the scroll that the stranger handed to him to give the teacher Ott.
Would you like to show everybody on screen the
Oh, there's a
physical
real scroll!
object?
Yep.
Oh, there's a real one!
It's been sitting
There's a
in front of
real
me for a
one!
long
Well,
time.
holy
I have
shit.
not opened
Literal
it yet.
months and months and months.
It went through the move
It went through the
with
move
us.
and I have yet to
Oh
open
my
it.
god.
I am so
And I-
impressed that you haven't snuck a peek at that.
Nope. This is about the most of a peek I've got.
Oh,
There's
there's
lot
so
in
many
there. There's
words!
so many
Damn,
words.
Sam. GM badass in the house.
As this sits in front of his desk, he like kind of places it. And he's like, "And what is this?"
I am unsure. Someone who gave me this, and he points to the blade on his now halberd, and said something about a rune lord. Also handed me this and said they brought it to give to a teacher Ott.
Rune Lord.
That is the word they used.
This is very important, Ark. Do you remember which Rune Lord was mentioned here?
No, but it was after they saw this, and he'll like lift up his hair and show his rune on his forehead.
Do you mind? Can I take a look at that?
Sure.
Kind of stands up, goes around the desk, and looks at it. This looks different than the components that make up the nanos that run the rest of your circuitry.
It has not always been here.
Are you familiar with what material might be running beneath the skin on this?
No. Whatever Iska made me with, probably.
I see. Iska. All right. So, do you mind if I then take a look at this
At the scroll or my rune?
scroll?
Yes, absolutely.
He does kind of look, like pass a hand over it, and you see him mutter like a detect magic, sensing nothing. He goes ahead and opens it up. You want to toss it my way?
Yeah, for sure.
Through
Movie
dimensions,
magic.
what?
Wow. Movie magic. Wow.
Gosh, I love that I can open my own scroll.
I just used the spell Thoughtful Gift.
I have been waiting on that spell. I have had it since day one.
It's such a niche spell,
y'all-
but it's so cool.
It is
I'm
the funniest spell.
Waiting.
I feel like I always think
perfect
like,
moment.
oh, if that was in Starfinder, I would Thoughtful Gift a grenade into someone's pack.
Holy shit.
Hey, soon with Starfinder2e, Pathfinder2e compatible,
True.
you too can do this. You see him look at it for a moment. Well, good news is that this is from Queen Sortian. Well, isn't that interesting? That they caught your eye. Oh, well, kind of glances through it. This looks like a gift to the Magaambya, actually. It looks like a writing from Queen Sortian herself, an article, if you will, with the basics of rune magic. That's quite generous of her. This may actually provide you some answers to, kind of uses the scroll to tap his temple, the newly found rune that is on your head. Why don't you take a read through this first? Because feels, well, relevant to you. And when you're done with it, jog on over to the, or walk on over to, realizing that Ark might take that literally, over to the Archhorn Library and tell them that this should be filed away, a few copies made and added to the library archives under rune magic.
Okay. I shall.
Movie magic.
As it is headed back.
Magic.
At a quick glance, why don't you open it up and show it on camera for those that are on camera?
It's got,
Share it with
it's
the
got
class.
2 pages.
It is.
Oh
It
my
is.
god, there's so much
Jesus
information.
And as you glance at the page behind Ark, you see a symbol
Pointed star.
very, very familiar to you.
I'm pointing
7
so hard.
Pointed star.
I'm
One
pointing.
that has not only been on a tapestry in the cave in which you were trained and made, but also on the inside of your mask.
True. He will glance at it now before wrapping it back up, and he plans to read it in detail later.
Just for the audience, just for
Oh,
a
Okay.
tease.
Shall I read some?
I more so want, now I don't remember what exactly is on there. Why don't we, as you glance through go to the second page and look at the symbol that is on your forehead.
Yeah. It didn't print out in perfect color, but I know what that is, so.
Mhm.
You want me to read it?
If there's something good, just a little taste. If you're not sure, I can do it or however you want.
You could read it all for the class.
Listen, I wouldn't say
Okay.
no.
I
I'm
found one
hungry for
sentence I
more.
want to read.
Okay.
Actually, 2 sentences. I'll read the last 2. The rune fills you with the emotional energy needed to properly empower the art of evocation and the restless need to burn off that energy immediately. I personally have other ideas on effective outlets, but it seems that most people equate these feelings with violence.
I will tease as well that I did not write this up, but rather this treatise from Queen Sortian herself is in the Secrets of Magic book. If you wish to read it for yourself, it is on Paizo's Secrets of Magic. It's not going to be on Nethys, as it is some of the more complementary materials, I believe, that are in the physical books and reasons to buy them. But you can get that on the PDF or that a physical book. It's fascinating, and I might share it with the proverbial class after hours.
Maybe we'll share it with the Breakfast Club too. $5.
You can get it any okay. Anyways, I think with that, as you all prepare to finish classes for the day and head out to the city of Natambu, is there anything else that you would like to do before you collect yourselves together at the end of the day, or at the end of the school day?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Sorry.
For 15
I'm accidentally unmuted. As Arafe, Tal, and Hideaki are walking back towards the campus. So friendship for like 5 minutes. And he's like just beaming. And you know, even though like I get why we're at where we're at, for just a few minutes there, I felt really, really good.
I see Arafe and Tal both having very different reactions to this situation.
And then there's that silence. It's like, honestly, like without you two, I don't know if I would have ever even like had any sort of whatever you want to call that. So thanks.
You are not getting the reaction perhaps you expected, Hideaki.
Not at all.
And so kind of looking to your left and to your right, I would love a little insight as to like what is the immediate reaction to this from y'all, and share it with the class, but also like he can roll if you want him to roll, however you want to do it.
Are you looking for physical reaction or insight into our brains?
Yes.
You want the squishy or the not squishy?
Find the balance between telling the audience and telling Hideaki.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first, Maria, or
Yes,
should I?
because I have an answer. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the obvious thing, Tal looks like they are trying to put together a puzzle with only their brain. Is kind of what's coming across. And in their head, that's kind of what they're doing. They're trying to figure out how you, Hideaki, a person who is in Tal's mind so diametrically opposed to how they interpret Ark's way of perceiving things, how you managed to for 5 minutes become friends when Tal has tried for 9+ months with no sense of like progression. And is kind of unable to form any kind of response. Just looks a little like utterly perplexed.
Arafe appears happy, and she is happy for you. but there is a slight veil of confirmation of something she hoped wasn't true. And
Ooh.
for people in her brain, here, only wanting praise from people you have to climb the ladder to get to.
Oh. So you turn around, Hideaki, to kind of like glance at like where's the response to that, and you see like confliction on both, more amicable on Arafe, but you also know that's usually always what you get, and you've learned to read, I think, between your and Arafe's relationship, the slight undercurrent of okay, there is something there.
I mean, there is still genuine happiness for him.
Yes.
It's just undercut slightly.
Yes. And I think probably Tal being relatively expressive, ears and face, I would say like Tal is lost in their own head and very like conflicted and processing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he'll just like look. Yeah.
She will just go with, I am glad one of us may have made a step in the right direction of maybe showing him what that is, because we're not very good at explaining it.
Is anyone?
I thought I was doing okay.
Taking a
Tal
quick
says
glance
very
at Tal.
quietly.
Yeah, just glances at Tal of, I think if any of us can, it's probably Tal.
What did you say, Tal? I didn't actually hear.
Oh, Tal said very quietly, right before Arafe said that, I thought I did a good job.
Well, if it's any consolation, I don't know if we would have made any progress at all without. It's like we all built a bridge together. I couldn't have built this third part without the first two.
You almost hear Janatimo's words of, well, you might not know where it ends, but it's progress.
And I think like for Hideaki, like some insight into him is like that's been like his problem the whole time, really, is like I have all the answers. No, I don't. I don't even know where to start. And like and then it's just like this round robin of chaos, and it's just like and maybe I don't know how to do this at all. And then finally something stuck. So let's just hold fucking on for dear life.
Take it, like, honestly, in this sort of thing where, like, both Arafe and Tal seem, to my perspective, focus on... no, I think Tal, actually, because Arafe is focused more on, like, her perception of Hideaki. But I see Tal is more focused on, like, where they sit with Ark, and sort of like still and lost in that same way that
they are tinged with in this moment they are tinged with confusion, but if you dig a little deeper, there's also jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And that lost in that thought though of like what is their relationship with Ark and like comparing it and everything.
Yeah.
You see, like, there is that mirror of what you used to be, and you're here just trying to enjoy the fact that progress was made, a la what Janatimo had just said, because it was rewarding to you, regardless of where it ended up. And even though perhaps, Hideaki, there's been a lot of, like, uncertainty when you do decide X, Y, or Z sometimes, it feels a little bit different this time. Because there's a confidence of like, but everything is telling me that that was a good thing, despite this lack of reaction.
Right.
And you hear then Overnose's voice say, it was progress. Whatever that means to that android boy.
Can I pull a Waffles and ask for a perception check from Tal and Arafe?
Yes.
Of course. Yes. Roll higher than a 5, you...
It's going to be a 13.
Natural 20 for a 27.
But I rolled a 4!
You're welcome.
Actually makes sense.
Total of 9.
It's Amazing.
I like when the dice tell us what the story is actually going on.
Oh man, I love it.
It makes
Tal is
perfect
stuck.
sense.
Here's why. Tal is stuck in this loop and is thinking about a conversation they're gonna have later
Yeah.
with Ark about a DTR with Ark later.
So Arafe, you gather a few things. He's being super genuine about like this, like the bridge theme that he's making.
Mhm.
And like Hideaki does love, but you also know that Hideaki does love his wordplay, and he loves to sort of take the windy road
Yep.
to the point, as you've seen many times. But there's a overwhelming sense like coming off of him of what do I do now?
Mm-hmm.
But there's still like underneath the surface, there's still like this aspect of shock and like adoration. But what's maybe surprising is there's not really like pride there, which is typically like an overarching like piece of him. He knows that he couldn't have done this alone.
So, just out of a side question of if Arafe would clock anything like this, does Hideaki show any disappointment about the way we are reacting to this situation?
He's trying not to.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's trying to figure it out. So, like, it's... What was it, a 20...
29.
I think you probably gather both. Like, I think like you'll probably catch the disappointment as it like disappears, and it's just like, well, like maybe like there's something else.
If I can add to that, just from my perspective, real quick, that Arafe, like that, the fact that it is like there's that initial disappointment, but he doesn't react to it the way you know Hideaki usually reacts to it, but rather has a bit more of that inner self confidence in this, is in and of itself noticeable.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Notes for me later.
Great.
Amazing.
No, Hideaki does not love puns. No.
No, you said it. You said that he loves wordplay and stuff. So
he's untouchable.
No takebacks. Hideaki likes puns.
Canon.
Right. With that moment of sort of walking out of Janatimo's office/living quarters currently, and having that moment of, well, it's already been an interesting morning.
It's like 9:30.
You head off to your classes for the day. You head off to gather some supplies before you meet back up at the Sprout House, ready to head out into the city of Natambu, which we will do next session.
I want to keep playing.
I know. Oh, I could do this for hours more tonight.